Hello all my JavaScript friends, this is TheVirtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and this is our Hold That Tower game. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the runner class. Now these are the runners that come out from the middle of the tower. Let me show you how that works. Let me reset the game and go to full screen and go over here and get the game going. There we go, get the game going. So let me kill somebody. There's a runner. There he goes right there. So this is the runner that comes out from the middle of the tower to go pick up a prize. That's its entire purpose in life. And the tower can have multiple runners. You start out with one runner, and you can add runners as you go along. And hey, as you can tell here, you can also increase their speed by a certain percentage depending upon what card you have selected. So now let's get back over to the code and take a look at that. There's not a whole lot to the runner, but there's one very, very important thing. First of all, how do runners get added? Well, the tower initially creates the runner itself somewhere. Where is it? There's the gun. There he is right there, this runners. Notice it's inside of an array, and that's very important because you can have multiple runners. But we do create at least one runner for them. And then when we want to add a runner, we call the add the runner, and we push that runner. And that's it. That's all the tower really has to do with anything. So let's just take a look at the runner class itself. Not a whole lot here. Default speed, default hit points. I don't use hit points for runners at this particular point in time because the initial design called for the runners to be able to be damaged or killed by any missiles thrown by the monsters. But I decided for this first thing, let's keep everything nice and simple and clean. Get that part working first, and then we'll start adding a little bit later on. As I normally do, I put everything in as private variables. We do preload the runner graphic using the preload system. On the constructor, not like it's a big deal here. As I do with all my classes, each runner has associated with a runner UI program or UI class, and this runner UI class is specifically designed to be able to display the runner on the screen. That's basically what all this is right here. Now, I'll go through that here in just a minute. And I do all this in order to be able to keep the runner logic completely separate from the graphics logic. So if I ever want to go do some sort of other graphics, besides using Phaser.js, I could just replace the UI classes and nothing else has to change. It's a wonderful way to design your systems. I use getter variables to be able to return specific pieces of information about the runner, how fast it's going, how many pip points, what prize it has. That's extremely important because once it gets back to the tower needs to know, hey, what kind of prize do you have for me? Well, there it is, all that kind of fun stuff. We can set the position, set it whether it's visible or not, take damage. Again, we're not worried about that. Upgrade speed is very important because you can upgrade the speed of a runner as when you click on the when you click on a card, just like if we go to full screen over here, just like we have this card up here, we increase the speed by runner for 25%. This is where that comes into. We would just do 25% there. Upgrade, set speed, upgrade hit points, pick up prize. This allows me to, once I know I've gotten to a prize, which I'll show you here in just a minute, it allows me to add that prize to my inventory. I can only have one prize per inventory. And once I can also drop the prize, I will drop the prize if I get killed, which I won't in this particular version game, or if I get to the tower. And that's it for the runner. UI is just as ridiculously simple. First of all, this is the image that I'm using, all of my private variables. Yeah, all the getter functions to get the information I need. Here's where I preload it. Here's the create section. This is where I use Phaser.js to actually create the image itself. And the key here is I do make them invisible at the very beginning. In fact, I think I make that as the default. I do not actually. That's interesting. I'll have to remember. Actually, the default's true. I don't like that. I'll have to change that to false, but that's not a big deal. Anyway, of course, we have to set the position of it. We set the whether it's visible or not, and that's it. And that's all there is to a runner. I could probably just end the video right here, but that won't show you the most important thing, and that is the runner group. And like I said before, the runners, you can have multiple runners per tower. And so what will happen is that the bullet will collide with the enemy, and the enemy will get down to 0 hit points. It will drop its prize on the screen. We then have to schedule a runner, a free runner, to go out to go grab that prize and then come back to the tower. So let me show you how that is done. I have a specific code here called the runner group, or a specific class here called the runner group. And this allows me to control all the, this is basically, it's a UI portion of it. This allows me to control all the different UI pieces of the runner, how it's being moved out to the prize, how it picks up the prize, how it drops the prize, all that kind of fun stuff. How is that initiated? That's initiated inside of our gameplay section. When we do a new wave, when we get a new wave event in there, we create, where is it? There it is, right there. We create a new runner group in which we pass to it the scene, the towers, our statistics, our speed, the new speed for the runners and all that kind of fun stuff. And then we build the wave. So what happens when we build the wave is that we take the, we basically add what we call a physics group within the UI. And then we go through each one of these and we we set up the runners as they are within each of the towers. To do, get the number of runners from the stats. That's actually already been to done. So there's no to do there. I don't know why that's in there. Oh, let's kill it then. Let's kill it on there. There is one bug in this game that I do have here. I'm not updating the speed correctly. I did find that out actually today. We'll get that fixed a little bit later on. It's one of the bugs that we'll go through and fix before we get the game finished here. But the whole idea here is that the gameplay will then build the wave, and it gets this runners group all ready to go. So what happens is that once a monster or once an enemy has been eliminated and it has dropped its prize, it will drop its prize. Let me just go to that code here real quick as soon as I can find it. Can I find it really quick? Of course I can't find it really quick. Yeah, when it drops its prize, it adds the prize to a group of prizes or a group of prizes that allows me to be able to keep track of what prizes are currently dropped on the field. And then during the update section of the game, and the update section is, and I explained this in an earlier video, is the section that is run, 50, 60 times a second, whatever the update speed for Phaser.js is. Honestly, I really don't know what it is, what the FPS really is, but this little update routine is run once every clock tick, or game tick, I guess is the best term for it. And within this code here, I'm detecting whether I have prizes dropped and the wave has not ended. If I have prizes dropped and the wave has not ended, then I schedule a runner. So let's now go back to the runner group. When I schedule a runner, I do a routine here called select next runner. So I go to select next runner, which I think is down here. Yeah. Select next runner allows me to find a runner that is not running and that has not been eliminated. And if there is a next runner, then I set the running to true. And that basically allows me to say, and then I return the value. That allows me to say, hey, here's your runner. I've already set him to running. Go do the voodoo that you do so well. So we schedule the next runner and we go ahead and move. If I get the data, I get the prize from the array, and shift it off so it's not there anymore. And of course, I shift it from the array. I don't pop it because pop it gets the very last one that was dropped. Shifting gets the one that was the next in line. So I grab the prizes as they go along here. When we move the runner, compute how far it is to the prize itself, and then there's a certain routine called tweens within Phaser.js that I'm allowed to say, hey, within this particular duration, I want you to, in fact, that's where the duration comes from. I want you to be able to run or to move yourself within this duration from your current position to that particular position right there. So this image to this position in this duration. Once you've completed that, then we're going to do all this. Once they completed it, I make the prize disappear, and then I take the runner image and I send them back to the tower, XY, within that same duration. And once that is completed, then I set the visible, I set the runner data back to false, which makes the runner available again for the next run through, and I get a game event runner return. And so that when I run the game event runner return, I pass the prize, and the prize is then calculated by the system to be able to then throw that into your statistics. And where is that runner return? That would be on runner return inside gameplay. Let's see if we can find that real quick. On runner return. Yeah, see, on runner return, all we do is just call the statistics and update it. We'll cover statistics in another video. So that's runner group is extraordinarily important to the running of the game because it is the actual routine that schedules what runners are going out at what duration, at what time to go grab what prices. So that is really important. Again, it's done within that update routine. Without that, nothing's going to work. So yeah, the runner stuff was real simple. Like I said, I covered it like in a minute and a half. It's the runner group that was the most important thing. And for now, that pretty much covers the runner classes. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel to view more videos. Click on the like button on this video and visit us at TheVirtuoid.com. Also, support us on Patreon, where you can get access to member-only videos. Links are down below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and keep on coding.